In 2022, I lived homeless on a streetcar. Not for a night, not for a week, for 3 months straight. My bed was the corner seat, the one where the light was dimmest. The windows vibrated every time the streetcar rolled over the tracks, and that sound became my lullaby. I didn't need a mattress. I had steel. I didn't need a blanket. I had my hoodie zipped up to my chin. The first nights were the hardest. People stared. I wasn't fooling anyone. You can tell the difference between a commuter heading home and someone who's just got nowhere else to go. The driver would sometimes glance in the mirror, see me there, and I'd hold my breath waiting for them to say something. Sometimes they did, and I had to step off into the cold at 2 a.m. Other nights, they ignored me. Maybe they knew. Maybe they just didn't care. Daytimes were worse, though. Nights, you can blend into the dark. Daylight makes you visible. And being visible when you've got nothing is dangerous. Hunger was the turning point. Real hunger. Not skipped a meal, not forgot breakfast. The kind of hunger where your stomach is so empty it growls like an animal. The kind where you smell food before you even walk into a store, and your whole body moves toward it like a magnet. That's when I started stealing. Not because I thought it was cool, not because I wanted to rebel against society, because survival doesn't ask your permission. Survival doesn't care about morality. At first, it was small things. A protein bar slipped into my pocket, a sandwich stuffed under my hoodie. The first time, my heart pounded so hard I thought everyone in the store could hear it. I walked out expecting a hand on my shoulder, expecting alarms. Nothing. Just me on the sidewalk, food in my pocket, and a sick mix of guilt and relief boiling in my stomach. That's how it started. Soon it wasn't just food. It was clothes, socks, gloves, anything to fight off the cold. It was toiletries when I got sick of smelling myself. By the end, it added up to hundreds of dollars, maybe more. I developed a system. I'd scope out the store before I touched anything. Which aisle was the blind spot? Which cashier looked the most tired? Which corner had no cameras? I became an amateur detective in survival crimes. My life shrank down to these calculations. Risk versus reward, hunger versus safety. Every store felt like a battlefield. You walk in casual, you act like you belong, but inside your chest is pounding like a drum line. Then, the moment you cross that threshold with stolen goods tucked away, it's pure adrenaline. A rush so strong it almost drowns out the shame. Almost. Because the shame was always there, sitting heavy in my gut alongside the stolen food. I tell myself lies to make it easier. They're big companies, they won't miss it. I'll pay it back someday. This isn't really theft, it's survival. Lies are easier to believe when they keep you alive. But there were moments that cut through. Like when a clerk smiled at me, genuinely, not knowing I had a bag full of unpaid-for goods. Or when a family came into the store while I was stuffing food away, and I wondered if they could see me. If their kids noticed. Still, I kept at it. 3 months of it. Steal, eat, sleep, repeat. And in between the chaos, there were strange little moments of peace. Riding the streetcar as the city blurred past, I'd feel untouchable. No rent, no bills, no one expecting me to show up at work or school. But it wasn't freedom, it was invisibility. And invisibility is a trap. You disappear from the world, and the world stops caring that you're gone. The paranoia started to creep in around month 2. I wish I could say I stopped because I had some big realization, some dramatic moment where I decided to turn my life around. But the truth is simpler. I stopped because I couldn't keep going. And survival doesn't care what lines you cross.